everybody. Welcome back to Coffee with the Wilsons. This is Richard,
I'm Marquita.
and we are the
Coffee
Wilsons.
with the Wilsons.
Coffee with the Wilsons, right?
We are back after about 2 weeks break. We went to LA, hung out there with the stars for a little bit, out in the 90210
The stars hung out with us.
on Sunset Boulevard and attended a great workshop, Dreamtopia workshop. Shout out to Kathy Heller and Don't Keep Your Day Job.
Yep.
It is a wonderful and phenomenal podcast. Check it out. We're back this week, revamped.
Got our coffee
I
on.
got my cup too. And you've got to change the scenery. We decided to shoot from our living room tonight, so
Yeah, something different.
a little more personal.
Change it up a little bit.
But what we're going to do tonight is really tell you what Coffee with the Wilsons is to us, why it exists, where where its origin come from, which was a pretty organic place. So I'm excited to tell you guys about that and about why we're doing what we're doing and where we see it going as we move forward. So welcome, and we're gonna jump right in.
We actually excited to be back.
Yeah.
We have a lot of we
Missed you
can't
guys.
we can't share it all right here, but we got a lot to share about our adventures, things we've learned. Obviously, those 4 days were phenomenal, life changing, and our thinking has really taken a nose. I ain't gonna say a nose down, but what's the word I'm looking for?
It
A
went up
upward trend.
higher.
Yeah, went higher. There you go. So,
Didn't take a nose dive.
but I mean, our thinking would never be the same. I mean, just being around a whole bunch of people that think differently and stuff. I mean, it just really affected us in a positive way.
Yes.
So, what do you want to start off with today, babe?
Well, we're going to talk about where Coffee with the Wilsons started. So when we started dating or communicated, I guess, that we had a mutual interest, we pretty much started out meeting at a coffee shop every single day. Probably for like the first 4 or 5 weeks, we met at a coffee shop. It got to the point where the people knew us when we came in. And in that coffee shop time, what we discussed, this is right off the bat, was pure honesty,
Right. Yep.
openness. We knew by the end of that 4 weeks, neither one of us wanted to have any more children.
Right.
We are a blended family. He had 3 daughters. I have 2 daughters and a son. That was good enough.
Here's a story
Of the brown ladies. We knew that, which one of us would handle the finances by the end of that 4 or 5 weeks. We knew pretty much, we even discussed expectations of sex. Why? Because in a marriage, you need to know
Better know
what's
it, baby.
expected. Do I have to put on chains? Do I need to hang from the ceiling fan? Am I expected to do this out of the 30 days in a month, 29? I mean, what's the expectation? And that takes some real open and honest communication because it helps you with the speed bumps along the way.
Right.
It smooths things out for you. So you need to have those open conversations. And that's kind of organically where Coffee with the Wilsons even started. We weren't calling it a name. We didn't get this information from a book, or it's kind of just what started happening. We both have been married before. We both knew if we didn't know what we did want in a relationship or in a marriage, we were pretty sure of what we didn't want.
Absolutely.
So these conversations help guide us through this. And I would be bold enough to say, after about 6 weeks of having a conversation like that with somebody, you know if that person, you and that person are going in the same direction.
So it's more than this joker, this girl fine, boy. She got it
Right.
going on. I'm like,
Fine goes away
Tell you what,
sometimes.
when JEA shut them lights off, you ain't looking at how fine this person is. You want to know where this money coming from.
Right.
So we had to just talk about all
And
that.
JEA is the electric company in Florida.
Yeah.
I know everybody may not know what that is.
I should have said mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what we're saying, when challenges arise,
Right.
it doesn't matter how fine you are.
Yeah.
That goes out the window. Doesn't matter how, how built he is. that goes out the window. How funny he is, how great it goes out the window, because now you're talking about real life situations, and you need to know if this person has your back, and can you get through a situation and still remain friends in your marriage? Or y'all gonna be beefing and mad and holding grudges?
And boxing one another.
Yeah, because that ain't happening for me. No. So, that's kind of the origin of where Coffee with the Wilsons started.
Well, it's obviously our kids. They kind of like was the one that encouraged us to share this story.
Yeah.
It's always been our objective to model in front of them what a good, a thriving, and a positive marriage, positive environment is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in a sense we can give ourselves a pat on the back. I guess if somebody wants us to share it, we must have been doing a good job. Not a perfect job, obviously. Perfection, like we always say, is the goal. However, down here on earth, perfection is pretty much unattainable, which means there's a big gap for improvement. So, we will say that. But what else you want to share, baby?
Well, the thing of it is, when it comes to the kids, they're all adults now. Our children range from ages 33 to 22.
Yeah.
And it's 6 of them. So they're in relationships. So none of them are married yet. Only 2 of them have children at this point. So there are things that they bring to us in conversation, and when we sit down collectively and we sit down and we start to impart with them, they'll say, oh, people need to know this. People need to hear this information. And so this is where the YouTube channel came from. Right. My baby girl had been telling us to do this probably over the last 2 years, and I was bucking the system with that whole YouTube thing. But then the other 2 daughters started coming in saying, you guys really need to share this information, because people want to know how to do relationship well and feel like it's moving forward and productive, and it's a good thing, and not that it's always about this feeling, but you want to feel like you got a partner that you can trust and you can move forward with and you can do this for life with. And they always say, you guys need to tell people this. So, here we are. We're telling you guys about this.
Telling you about it, yep.
But when we were in Birmingham, we actually took this to another level, where now we are married, but we needed a time and place outside of the home to do the business part of our marriage. Mm-hmm. If you're not planning, you need to start.
Yeah, you got to do that.
And you need to set aside a specific time and place to do that. And for us, it was to take it outside the home. It gave us a total different atmosphere. It actually helped us dream bigger and more. It was like the atmosphere changed our thinking. It helped us relax, and we laughed, and we had fun, and we got to enjoy our favorite dessert.
Because there is a creative component to marriage, right? And most artists, songwriters and painters and all these type artistic types that tell you that if you feel in the blockage in your creativity, you want to change your environment, and to some degree, they say it can help you. You see different things, talk to different people, experience different things. It can help you create better. Because like I said, there is a creative component to marriage, because actually you're creating a life together.
Right.
So there is a component to it. So it definitely helps us to change the environment.
I like to talk about the blank canvas. We're painting a masterpiece. And we do the planning part of that outside of the home. So for us, it has been a positive thing. It has been something that worked, where we go there, we talk about vacations, we talk about budgeting, we talk about what happened throughout the week, things that we liked, things that we didn't like. And it also gives us a chance to impart in one another, keep building each other up, and really being a shoulder for the other person. Sometimes you get busy in the week, and at one point he was working at night, I was working at day. You just didn't have time to have this effective communication. But that atmosphere on purpose allowed us to be able to do that. And I think we're living in the fruit of some of those conversations.
Yep, it enhanced our communication.
Yeah.
Able to laugh. Sometimes we would meet people that would just, every once in a while, they just want to talk to us. Remember?
Yeah.
How we got that place? Downtown Birmingham? What that little area?
Uptown
by that park?
area.
Yeah.
A railroad park.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
It's a good place to meet people, so it's beneficial
Yeah.
all around.
And then, it brings out sometimes problems that you didn't know exist that you needed to deal with.
Yep.
Sometimes it minimizes distractions that come up, and it's trying to rob you of something else that you really need to be focused on. And when you have 6 adult children, we don't have, it wasn't all 6 of our children are in this wonderful place. We have one that's on the streets,
Yep.
one that somehow, still trying to find their way, So allow us time to really talk about how we can help them as parents. What can we do? Sometimes you can't get in the way of their own will, but it gives us opportunity to dialogue about it. Even talk about what direction to pray when it comes to our children. So it works out really, really good.
And then from a practical standpoint, most people, I ain't say everybody, there's an exception to every rule. Most people, when you disagree, are not so easy to show out in public. They may do that behind closed doors at home. Now you got some people, they don't care where they show out at.
Yeah,
But and if they do show out like that, that makes you might want to question, start questioning stuff. That's another story. But for the most part, when people are out in public, they're not gonna show out. That doesn't mean we don't have disagreements when we're in the coffee shop, but ain't nobody showing out. We don't show out in public or private. So.
No, I mean we don't always agree.
No.
On the way to handle something or to look at something or to move forward with a thing, but what we do is give each other that latitude. We respect each other's opinion, and we try to find a happy median.
And I just let her win, man. Just let her win.
She does not just always let me win.
That's when you have a happy house.
That
though.
sounds
I'm trying to
great.
tell you.
But we did want to come in and just let you know what Coffee with the Wilsons is about. Someone else coined the term for us because we were posting our coffee shop visits on Facebook and social media, and they started calling us Coffee with the Wilsons. Thank you, Nikki, Pastor Nikki. And so here we are. Now going forward, what we're gonna do, what our vision is, what we see for Coffee with the Wilsons, is an opportunity to help people. Because we believe marriage is good.
And it works.
And it works.
If you work it.
So we want to, going forward, give you some practical tools. Some of them may not be so practical. But we can tell you what has worked for us.
Yep.
And so it's one of those kind of, you're taking the meat, spitting out the bones. If it don't work for you, don't apply to you. Those things, you guess you don't have to apply. But we're certain, with a certainty, that we can give you something that will cause you to reevaluate, even in your dating situation, how you approach things, how you look at things, in your marital situation. If you're not governing parts of it like a business, when it comes to planning, you need to start planning.
Yeah.
We'll give you some tips and tools on how we go about that. I think going forward, we talked about having some dating boot camp type things where people can be interactive, come in, we tell you, hey, for 3 weeks, we're gonna hammer this out. We're gonna help you with some things to get you moving in the right direction. So you kind of weed out some of the foolery on this side, of marriage. Not after you done got in, but on the other side.
Yeah, once you done jumped off the cliff, it's different rules.
Yeah, start bleeding, just get a Band-Aid, some alcohol, go pray, I don't know.
Oh God, yeah.
But we do want to do that. So in our takeaways from today, what we want to talk about, what we want to give you, the 3 takeaways would be, we think doing marital business outside the home helps you in communicating. You at this time, you probably got an active listener from your spouse or your significant other. That's tip number 1. We really believe it helps with your communication.
Yeah.
It helps you talk some things through. And you find out you had the answers inside of you all the time. You had some answers to some of the stuff that may have been perplexing you. So we want to encourage you that it helps with communication.
Yep.
Secondly, I want to say that planning outside the house might build friendship. You want to keep the friend part of your relationship fresh. You don't stop becoming friends because you got married. You know, this is my best friend.
Yep.
I'd rather hang out with him than anybody. Anybody. So, you know, you just have to take those little nuggets this time and continue to build on that. Friendship, it's important. It's important. The last thing I would say is what we were able to do was relax and laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he's the funny guy. And so we were able to just laugh and get some joy out of it, have some relaxing time and you know, wind down from our week and not take everything so serious. We started laughing and having a good time.
Yeah, some of that stuff was really serious, but yeah, you can just about laugh at
Use
every
it with
situation.
humor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So this is what we had for today with our Coffee with the Wilsons. We'll be back very shortly with some stuff to help enhance some relationships. We believe marriage is good.
And if y'all know anybody that you think can benefit from this, which we hope is a lot of people, you know, subscribe to the channel, tell them about us, everything.
Share.
Even email us or hit the comment button and ask questions or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
we'll answer your
invite them.
questions.
Yep.
We do prayer requests as well. If you got something you're dealing with, you need prayer, hey, we'll cover you. We believe that God hears us when we pray.
Absolutely.
And that He answers.
Yep.
So definitely subscribe, share, especially with people that are newly married or dating or aspiring to be married. Please share and tell them to subscribe to our page.
We love you guys.
Thank you and have a great Saturday.
Have a great Saturday.